तत्परं पर्याय विद्महे ज्ञानलिङ्गेश्वराय धीमहि तन्नो गुरुः प्रचोदयात्। Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining us in yet another episode of Songs of the heart-to-heart conversations with mentors and teachers of the Gitananda Nada Yoga family worldwide. I'm particularly excited today to be sharing this episode with our beloved Dhivya Priya Bhavanani. Namaste, Dhivya.
Namaste, dearest Sangeeta and everyone here.
So happy to see you. Let me give our family just a touch of a beautiful bio that you have been crafting over the years, and remind everyone that your full bio is in the description of the video and in the description of the podcast episode, okay? So Dhivya Priya, you have been performing on stage since the age of 2. But even before then, you were performing on stage in the beautiful womb of your mother, our beloved Yogacharini Devasena Bhavanani, and of your Appa, Yogacharya Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani. You are the blessed daughter of this pair and the blessed granddaughter of the pair of Swami Gitananda and our beloved Yogacharini Meenakshi Devi Bhavanani. So what a joy. You're an outstanding student and you have been currently doing many live shows on social media, including Global Voices, Tell Me Appa, the Navaratri Kala Yagna. You are a recipient of the Sangeeta Samrat Vijaya Bhaskar Award. You are the recipient of the Swami Gitananda Best Youth and Child Award. You are the deputy director of Yoganjali Natyalayam, where you also are teaching. You have been teaching online during this pandemic times, and this has allowed you to really shine as a teacher as well as a student. And at present, you are pursuing your bachelor degree in psychology at the University of Madras as a student of the Shasun Jain College. So thank you, Priya, for being here, Divya Priya, for being here. Such a joy to be sharing this episode with you. So this series focuses on the teachings of Swamiji around the yoga of vibrations and sound, that manifest world of the cosmic vibration of nada. And you chose and had the blessing of being born into a family where sound in the form of mantra as well as in the form of music and dance were present in your daily life. So how was it growing up in the ashram, at Ananda ashram? How was it growing up, listening to the sounds of your parents' voices, singing and dancing and composing? How was that for you?
Namaste once again, everyone, and thank you, dearest Sangeeta, for manifesting this and making this possible, bringing us all together. We are finding different ways to come together and help everyone, help each other. Actually, first of all, I have to thank all of you for accepting me here and the Guru Parampara, and for my family for kind of choosing me and allowing me to be part of the Gitananda family, and helping me in every possible way. And always my parents and grandparents are behind whatever I do. So yeah, I think like before I was born, I think my first kind of experience with sound from the external world was during the delivery time of my mom when she had me. So the doctor played Om chanting at that time. So I was born kind of hearing this Om chanting. And it must have been in the 10 months of when my mom had me, when she was pregnant with me, that she must have done a lot of singing. My father must have done a lot of singing. So I think it has just been part of, from day one of entering my mom's womb, and then into day one of my life, June 21st, 2003, the day I entered Earth. And then after that, for sure, I had all of this. I was always surrounded by as you said, I had a lot of exposure, especially like to chanting, bhajan singing, and this classical music. And the good thing was that even I liked it. I was never forced into it. I was never forced. My family never forced me. And it's something that I chose, something that I wanted to do. And they've always had my back. So, with the song, or I would say that when I was a child, I always wanted my father to sing for me, and only then I would sleep. So, this was like even before I could talk and before I could walk and all of that. So, always I had I would say, a divine connection with music, and I didn't know that as a kid. And then later, as I grew up, I was put into a music class, and I'm very happy to say that Sangeeta was also there with me. We were actually
Yes.
classmates. Learned music together under Jyotirmay Miss, a wonderful teacher, and she guided us in the actual, step-by-step process into the different lessons, starting all the way from Sare Gama Pada Ni Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa, and then on to that. And I would say that then there must have been a little bit of force, because as a kid, it's hard to sit in one place for 1 hour, even though you like sound. Okay. So then I would say that thanks to Ammaji, she always reminded me and made sure that, I did what was good and what was good for me and for everybody around me. And then because of my school studies and all of that, I had to take a step back. So I stopped going to classes, regularly and all of that. But whenever I got a chance, I would sing for a program and all of that. And then in my 11th standard, I came across the Hanuman Chalisa by Surya Gayatri. It was on the channel of Kuldeep Empai. And I loved the Hanuman Chalisa, but it was in Hindi. And I didn't really understand it too much, but I really loved it. And I would say that, grasped me and grabbed hold of me and made sure that it didn't let me go. I would hear it every day. And I would say that brought me back into the music journey, but this time stronger and with more passion and with more love towards it. And I would say that that's when this sound, music, vibration, all of this, really catched me. And that has been going on till date. And here and there, I take breaks, but always music comes in my life in different forms and makes sure that it doesn't let me go, and I don't let go of it. Like, it's really become my number one preference. And I would say the thing that's a little different is that, I haven't been exposed to too much of the cinema and all of these series that are nowadays, like these online series and all of that. I wouldn't say that's bad. It's good to have a break here and there, but it's very important because we have to know what's good for us. Okay, so many of these things are not actually good for us in the long run. A short break is okay, but we have to see what will enable the best, what will keep our thoughts calm, what will keep our thoughts good, so that then our words and deeds are also good. So I would say that I must thank Ammaji for sure, because whenever I slipped off the path, she would always grab me back and remind me. And I know initially I wasn't, I think, an easy child, of course, it's hard. And then now I'm a teenager, I'm still not done over my teens. But I think I'm a little better while compared to others. And that's thanks to the upbringing of, under Ammaji and my parents and many of the senior members of our family like you all have influenced my life in different stages and in different ways. So I'm grateful for all of that.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you for sharing this. I remember very fondly our classes together. And I remember very fondly that, yes, you were a young child, and it was difficult to be seated. It's difficult for everyone to be seated and focus on the music of Carnatic singing, because it requires a lot of strength and a lot of commitment. But I also remembered how fun it was to go to class together, and how much I really enjoyed riding to the school and riding back and singing on top of our lungs with the window open. So thank you for letting me share this with you. And of course, thanks to Amaji and your Amma and Appa for allowing me to share that with you, for sure. On the topic of the impact, the beneficial impact that the music have on your upbringing, I wanted to ask you if you're noticing how beneficial it is that you were able to study the sacred arts of Bharathanatyam and Carnatic music, and if you're noticing how, in relationship to other peers, you see that there's a lack of, let's say, groundedness, of relaxation or focus in the ones who were not as blessed to receive those. So now we're not comparing or judging. It's not about that, right? It's more about you noticing, just simply noticing. Now you're in college. Can you see how this sacred arts together with yoga have made you, in fact, a stronger being? And in that sense, would you encourage people your age, right, to embark on the study of music and dance to improve their health?
So yeah, actually, as you said, it's always good to increase the number of skills in our life, because why do we have such a long life? To keep learning, to keep growing, in every possible way. So I would say that yoga alone would have helped me, dance alone also would have, and music alone also would have. But all three of them came together. And when all three came together, I think it really made a difference. And every person that knows at least one of these arts would agree with me, because it's always important to learn a skill, all the way from the basics, from a very proper, a good master, a good teacher, and to learn it in the step by step process, not hurrying it in a month or a year, learning it slowly, allowing yourself to, observe the teachings, and you learn at your own pace, at your own space, and at your own time and comfortability. I would say that it's very essential, because many people say I like music, and many people try to sing songs, but when they go wrong, they don't know where they're going wrong. So I would say that if you have learned, like in specific music, if you have learned it in the step by step process, like ragam, talam, the rhythm, the tune, the shruti, all of that, if you go off, most probably you would identify it better than a normal person who hasn't learned music, like in a step by step process and, all the way through. So I would say that that's something that makes you stand out always. Like people nowadays, many people are singing, they not necessarily have learned music, from a teacher, but they just hear all these cinematic songs and, these English songs and all of that, and they sing. So I don't deny people voices stand out, they have the gifted voice and all of that. But I would say that when you actually want to try to involve in the perfection of that skill, if you're going to sing something, you should try to do your best, you should try to do it in the correct way and all of that. So I would say that that would require a systematic growth in it, and a lot of learning and practice and experience. And with my friends, I've seen that many of my friends haven't learned music or dance, but they just dance and sing, and usually everyone does a good job, like everyone's good in their own way. But I would say when you actually want to try to be, pakka, I mean, you want to be on the point, and we have to respect these cultural forms. Like many people took years to understand it and carry it through the tradition. So I would say that when we know that it's around, like why not try to learn it properly, and try to respect the culture and all the rules and regulations and all of that. So I think.
Thank you. And did you find, this is great, yes. And do you find that the qualities that studying these arts require, so for example, perseverance and strength and commitment and all, are they helping you, for example, with your studies, right? Or are they helping you being a better friend? Or do you notice that these arts skills are not just making you a very good singer, a very good dancer, but they can also carry over in society? Do you think that that is true for you?
Very much, actually, absolutely, because I know that, as you said, like music, yoga, dance, like in my case, doesn't just make me a better yogi or a better dancer or a good singer. It's not just that, it becomes a part of me, and it's in my day-to-day life. So it's what I use. So I would say that these skills help me become a better, I would say a good human being, maybe not a better, we are not comparing here, but a good human being in the sense that when I lose my temper, or when I fall a little down, I feel depressed, or a little lonely and all of that, I know that if I sing, I'll feel much better. So I would say that these help us come back to normal, because Swamiji used to say that every breakdown should become a breakthrough actually in our life. So we shouldn't just, say that I've broken down, I'm not going to get up. So I would say that these skills would actually help you come back to your actual capacity, your actual true self. And as you said, it does help me many times, like with my friends and fellow colleagues. What happens is that if someone irritates you or they're little over the top, you sort of learn to deal with them using like these yogic principles and all of that. So you're like, okay, Divya, breathe in, breathe out, just let go. Whatever you do, they're going to irritate you. If you irritate them back, they're going to do that back to you, and this is not going to stop. So at least through these many teachings, I would say a lot of the yogic principles that we have learned, that they help us, they remind us at different points, like, please remember, this is not going to work out. You have to calm yourself down, and like, it's nothing wrong in stepping back or stepping down and saying, I have enough and I accept your point, but I also have my own point, so you get out of it. So I would say that actually these teachings play a very essential role in our life, day-to-day life, and calming yourself and helping yourself to make good proper decisions, like I would say the good or the right decisions. I think that would be the good word, that they help us think in a good way, the right way, speak in the right way, and do the appropriate or required action. And they also help us to respond instead of react.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, that's a whole another episode. We're going to have maybe another episode on the action versus reaction mechanism. Yes. Thank you so much, Divya. One question I have for you is about embracing your role as a teacher, because you are an outstanding student and now you have taken on the responsibility and the privilege of being a teacher. Do you have a story or an anecdote or anything that you like to share that has brought joy to your life as a teacher? Maybe seeing a breakthrough in a student, or a particular moment that was fulfilling for you. Would you like to share? I know there's many, probably many, right? But would you like to share one with us, please?
Actually, at the beginning of this pandemic, we all were actually cursing it, and we are not wrong actually, because we lost many of our beloved souls to COVID-19, and it was hard for all of us because it limited us from going out and all of that. But I would say that in everything that happens to us, there's also a good side. Maybe that, like, I think often my brother tells this statement, and when he says it at different times, I do get irritated, but it's very true. Like, whatever happens, happens for good. So I would say that this had to happen. We all had to learn that anything is possible, everything is possible. So I would say that this online teaching happened because we couldn't just stop having classes, because the classes are a very important part of our lives for the teachers and the students also. So luckily, Devasena Miss, I must thank Dr. Son Devasena Miss for allowing me. They gave me the space and they gave me the energy to start conducting classes. And actually, it was the music class that I started actually. And I was kind of assisting my mom for the dance also. But I took up the music because, as I told you, in the recent times of my life, it has actually been a very important part of it. So in the music class, I tell you, I was like, I already know this, I've learned this music, so all I'm going to do is go and tell it in class. And that's what I thought. But what I thought was wrong. once you had, all these people, on the screen in front of you, I had fallen lost for words. Like, I didn't even know what I wanted to say and all of that. So I would say that the initial 1-2 classes were a little hard, but then slowly, I got hold of myself, and I was like, Divya, this is something that okay, and you're just going to share it to the other people, and this is the first time. Okay, so it's not wrong, if we go wrong and all of that. So I would say that I slowly started like with the Sarli as I told you, Sarigama Padanisa, and then, into all of the exercises. And every time, like initially, it was a little frustrating because what happens is I'm not used to this teaching. So when you have your own speed, you're used to your speed. So you know that if you hear a song maybe once or twice, the third time probably you can sing it. But not everyone will learn at the same speed. Okay, people might take more time, they might take less time. So it taught me how to adjust, to accept how people are, and I had to give I had to give them time. I had to accept that they all needed time and that they were learning something new and all of that. So these were a few lessons that I learned. And then not too long, they were all really bright students. They all were very happy. So as you said, there were a few moments of joy when someone would sing, one line correctly. I was like, wow, okay. So like, it was like something that applauded me. Like they didn't have to say it, just through their little moments of success, little bits of success, that I saw a lot of happiness. And I understood how happy our teachers must have felt when we sang something right, when we sang a concert, or we sang 2 or 3 songs, very nicely. So as you said that the kids, we conducted a test actually. So after every lesson, we conducted a test. And in that test, Dr. Sir and Devasena Miss was there, and I wasn't asking them questions. So Dr. Sir would be like, sing the, fourth exercise of the first lesson, the Sarli Vasai. So the students would have to sing Sare Gama, Sare Gama, Sare Gama, Padani Sa Sani Da Pa Sani Da Pa Sani Da Pa Magaresa. So in that test, 90% what everybody sang was correct. And that was like the first test. So I tell you, that moment I was so happy. I was like, okay, people are able to understand what I'm trying to say, because it was actually a wonderful gift for me. Because as I told you, the initial few lessons were very tough for me. I was like, I can't do it, it's not possible. How can I teach? I'm not, how will I adjust? How will I accept things? How will I convey things? So I must say that that test, I remember the first test with all the music class students, it was really a kick for me. It gave me a beautiful kickstart for the second lesson, and it just carried on. So.
That's wonderful, Divya. Thank you so much for teaching and sharing your passion, your expertise, your studies. I mean, that means a lot. And yeah, and you're doing such great service, to the parampara and to humanity, to be sharing from your heart this timeless teachings that have been helped so many people get in tune with themselves and with the cosmic vibration, isn't it? It's just, that's the beauty of it. It's not just music, it's not just singing, it's in a way a tool we have to attune ourselves, right? So we are coming to the completion of this episode. Again, as with your Amma, probably we will need a second episode with you, Divya Priya. But you are taking forward the illustrious yoga lineage of our, wonderful parampara. It is quite a responsibility, especially at such a young age. And at the same time is such a boon, such a blessing, that does not come light or easy though, right? So we would like to thank you. I would like to thank you as a student, forever student of the Parampara. I'm honored to be a mentor and a teacher, but those are always gonna become, they're always gonna come behind being a student. So I really thank you, and I know I thank you on behalf of the Gitananda family worldwide, because we are so grateful that in your own way you are here with us, with no expectation from my part, for example, for sure. I don't want you to be who you're not. And at the same time, it's such a joy to see you bloom and to see you share from your heart. So thank you. I know, and we all know, it's not a small task you agreed to embark on. With that, is there something that you would like to share with us, with our family? Any message, anything else you would like to contribute at this time?
Well, yeah. Not too much, because I know, like, always it's best to keep things short and sweet, because everybody has their own attention spans and all of that. And yeah, I'm practicing what all I'm learning in my psychology studies, understanding the human mind. Actually, that influences my character a lot. I've seen the way, rather the character, the behavior. So I've noticed a lot of changes in my behavior, like not necessarily at home, because with your family, you can be sort of anything and they digest it and they live with you. But to the outer world, I've seen a lot of differences in me. And all I would say to everyone is that try to adjust as much as possible, because everybody has their own goods and bads, rather like their advantages, disadvantages. So we have to accept that even we have disadvantages. So I would say that we have to be thankful to the people who are, living with us, who are helping us, who love us, who want the good for us, want the best for us. And as always, Dr. Sir says, gratitude is the highest attitude. We should always remember today, whatever we are, who all were behind this. For sure, our parents who gave birth to us, our grandparents, ancestors who kept blessing us, and the teachers who molded us, who taught us from A, B, C, all the way until whatever we know now in different stages of life and phases, like school, college, institutions, any skill, anything actually, any teaching, every line in the textbook or every line, whatever we know, and mentors, guides, all the different people, we have to always have the gratitude towards them. And we have to accept that it wasn't just us battling this life, we had many people around us. So all I would say is that as long as people are around us, let's try to thank them. Let's try to, I'm sure not every moment we can be happy running around thanking people, but whenever, we think about it, whenever possible, let's try to remind ourselves about it and thank the people around us, thank every single person in whatever way we can, in whatever way it's possible, and be thankful for the life we have, thanking God for what we have, thanking the Almighty for this wonderful universe, this platform, and everything that's actually manifesting and happening. And let's thank everybody, the world, for the good that's happening to us. And if we do wrong, don't worry. If you fall down and if anything wrong happens, it happens. It has to happen. And next time, let's not try to repeat the same thing again. And let's try to be as good as possible. And let's try to live in harmony with this world and try to enhance skills, keep learning something new every single day. So be grateful, stay positive, and always try to keep smiling and be always cheerful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Divya, for taking some time and especially sharing your beautiful soul, your beautiful experience with us. It means a lot. We're very grateful to you. And thanks to everyone who has been joining us. And thank you for sharing this beautiful message from our beloved Divya Priya. So thank you so much, Divya. Thank you. And we'll talk soon and we'll see everybody soon. Okay? Ciao. Namaste.
Thank you for, whatever's manifesting through you. Thank you for making all of this possible. And thank you everyone who's actually motivating us in different ways and making things happen. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Divya. We love you so much. Namaste. Ciao.
Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu sarve janaha sukhinu bhavantu.